Hey guys, it's Scott here and welcome back to a new video. I hope you're all doing well. Today I'm going to go over the best settings to use in Apex Legends Season 7. Since it had been a while since I've really played Apex, I thought it was time to revisit my current settings, and since doing so, my aim has just been so much better. And obviously that's leading to more kills and a more fun time in the games as well, and more wins. So some of these you will need to adjust yourself, and it will come down to personal preference, but I'll give you like a basis of what to use, and hopefully this will help you as well. So if you do enjoy the video, please leave a like and consider subscribing. I would really appreciate that, and let me know what you thought of these settings in the comments below and if they helped you out. So let's just get to it. So generally for the gameplay settings, this is all just personal preference. I mean, it doesn't really make much of a difference, to be honest. It kind of depends like what you like to have and how you like to play, really. So that's all down to yourself. The main kind of stuff is the controller settings. So I have my stick layout as default. I don't really like Southpaw. I've never played Southpaw or anything like that, so you know it's not for me. I like to only tap my square button to reload rather than holding. Just wastes a bit too much time there. Same for crouch. I like to toggle that rather than holding that. But for my aim, I like to hold it. It's just more flexibility then, and I don't forget to sort of toggle out when I'm aiming down sights. The L2, R2 button dead zones, that's just kind of like how sensitive things are when you touch them. So I'll explain dead zones a bit later on as well. So basically, I don't want no delay when I'm pressing buttons. As soon as I'm hitting that trigger, like I want my gun to be going off. So that's why I've set that to none. If you have that at like a high value, it's going to take a while before it responds to your trigger input, and that's kind of like what your dead zone is. So I don't have I've now stopped using the standard movement and aiming settings as well, and I've moved on to advanced look controls. So again, my movement dead zone, I want that small. I don't really want that large. Again, it's how much you move your stick before things are going to start like taking effect. Vibration, I mean, you can leave it off. Some people prefer it off. I just like playing with vibration. I'm not going to lie. It's just personal preference. But I know a lot of people like to keep that off. So the advanced look controls, I have my dead zone as only one tick up. This is, again, generally, the smaller is just finer control. So it's kind of how much it will respond when you start moving that stick. So I don't want it to take a while to respond. So I don't want to have to move my stick like halfway across before I kind of get a response from it. So that's why I have my dead zone quite low, and I quite like that, because as soon as I start moving my aiming stick, I want that to register that input. My outer threshold, to be honest, I'm not going to lie, I'm not too sure what this actually means. From what I understand, it's kind of like, as it says there, the boundary is also where any extra yaw or pitch settings take place, but I don't have those on, and I will discuss those later. I don't have those on, so that's just one tick up. That's just the standard there. Response curve, you can kind of alter this to how you want. So if you have this as nothing, that's essentially a linear response curve, which you can choose in the settings here as well. So you can have like linear, steady, classic, and all that. That basically makes it linear if you have it as 0. And at this point, if you've got stick drift, which my PS4 controller is quite old, so it has a stick drift, so I can't play it with a linear response curve because it gets really twitchy, and because I've got stick drift, it kind of just aims on its own accord and starts moving around by itself. So I do need a bit of something there. I think the standard basically makes it classic, the classic respawn feel, and that's kind of nice for me. I'm thinking of maybe just altering it. So again, it'll depend on your kind of value. So the lower you have it, it can get quite twitchy. And obviously, if you've got stick drift, I'd avoid linear altogether, to be honest. So that's something you might want to play with. And if you're at the max, like, it's just going to feel like you're taking forever to move your stick and get it somewhere to where you want to aim. So I'd either recommend sticking with the classic standard, or maybe just halfway between linear and standard. Per optic settings, I just have those off as default. I like my ADS sensitivity all being the same. Your speed is just how quickly you're turning left and right. So this is kind of like personal preference. I originally played on a 4 sensitivity and then a 3 for my ADS. So I've kind of like, this is very similar to what it felt like when I was playing 4 sensitivity, and the pitch speed is just up and down. So generally you have that a little lower, but this will be the setting that you want to tweak just to base it on how you like your sensitivity and how fast you like your sensitivity. To be honest, I don't think you really need a really fast sensitivity in Apex anyway, so I keep that around the 4 or 5 mark. The turning extras and the turning ramp ups, I've got them all as 0 because I don't want things to move faster or turn faster depending on whether my stick's at the end of the area or not. So it's kind of like taking so how long it takes to reach its full strength. You know, I don't want any of that. I want that to be off, because as soon as I move my stick, I want that to be like a constant speed. You know, I don't want to have to like move it across and then wait till it gets to a maximum speed. So I have that off, and same for the ADS as well. They're all off because again, I don't want to be waiting around for a maximum kind of like speed to take effect. The ADS yaw speed and ADS pitch speed, very similar to the ones above. Again, it's just how quickly things are turning left and right and up and down. I generally have my ADS sensitivity lower. I just prefer that, and it allows me for finer aim as well. So that again will come down to personal preference and just how you like it. Target compensation, this is just your controller aim assist, which everyone likes to moan around, but you know, just use it. It kind of helps. And the same for melee, it just kind of like focuses on your target when you melee as well. What I have found though is with these settings, even with the target compensation on, sometimes with controller, things can feel a little sticky when you're aiming at a target. But with these settings, I found it to be like really nice. It doesn't feel sticky when you're aiming at someone, and it's just real smooth and allows for really fine tweaks to your aim, so you can get that really precise aim. Field of view, I actually play on 100. I know a lot of people say 110. For me, it's just personal preference. To be honest, I don't think you should be like any lower than 100. 100 is just what I've got comfortable on. I may try go to 110, like a lot of people suggest. But you definitely should not be playing on like the 70 field of view. Like that's just far too low. You need to see what's going on around you, and also, you know, get as much a view around you as you can. What I would say though is if you are sat away from a screen quite far, you may want to consider a slightly lower field of view, because you will get a fisheye effect at a higher field of view, and targets may seem further away than they actually are. So that's something to bear in mind. If you do struggle to see people, maybe not max out your field of view and keep it a little lower. Field of view rim shake, I'd keep that on minimal. It's just kind of like how much your view's shaking. If you have it on minimal, you're more likely to see someone else running, I guess, because there's not as much motion on your screen. Audio settings, again, just kind of like your personal preference. These are all just maxed out for me. It really means nothing. So those are generally my settings anyway, guys. To be honest, I hope these help you. I hope these help you, and I hope they improve your aim. But that's kind of like what I've set up for Season 7, and to be honest, it's working really, really well. So I hope you've all enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you in the next one.